Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, today I'd just like to bring to the attention of the House of, if you like, the behaviour of a relevant minister in this chamber. And the reason I bring this to attention of the House, because I think it's actually the minister's behaviour towards people in my electorate, I think is quite disrespectful, and I'll explain why. Now, Mr Speaker, we've also already heard today from members of the Liberal Party who felt that their areas have been neglected by the government, and certainly what I'm about to say shows, if you like, the disdain the particular minister has for my electorate and the people who live in my electorate. Mr Speaker, I wrote to the Minister for Transport Infrastructure on the 22nd of April 2021 about a range of transport and transport matters. The letter, which I have a copy, which I'm happy to share with anybody, was a very polite letter indicating some concerns raised by people in my electorate, which I was bringing to the minister's attention. But also, as I've always been raised, say, if you've got a problem, you also suggest a solution to them. So not only did I bring the matter to the minister's attention, I also actually suggested some things which be done. Now, I received the response on the, only 2 or 3 days ago from the minister. It took 5 months to respond to this letter. On the 6th of July, we sent a reminder to the minister. After 3 months, we sent a reminder to the minister's office, and we were told that the letter was in progress. The response was in progress. 4th of August, we sent another reminder. Then on the 14th of September, we sent another reminder. And in that my last reminder, I said, well, clearly I'm not going to get a response. I should just actually raise these matters in Parliament. I got a response within minutes, Mr Speaker, of that, sending that email to the minister's office. Now, Mr Speaker, I don't think I should have to do that to get the attention of a minister. I know members of the Liberal Party have to do that, actually have to threaten to leave the party to get the minister's attention to the Premier. So, but having said that, Mr Speaker, what was really annoying is the response was dismissive, full of self-congratulatory comments and gratuitous comments. It was really quite rude and offensive to the people in my electorate. Now, I must say, that's not been my experience with other ministers. In fact, I would say my experience with other ministers, bar one or two, has been quite good. They've actually, even if I don't agree with the answer, at least they've had the courtesy to respond to the letter in a timely fashion, and in most cases address the issue I've actually raised in the letter. In this case, the minister was able to avoid the 4 issues I actually raised in the letter. So the way he actually normally addresses us in this chamber, the way he ignores the questions we ask and answers his own question, he's done that to the people of my electorate. It's one thing to do it in this place, Mr Speaker. To do it to my constituents is appalling behaviour. Mr Speaker, and these are the things which the minister clearly took offence to, because in the nature of his response. I mentioned that, and first of all, I congratulated the government for introducing some express bus services to make up for the lack of train services. Then I said, look, people have raised with me, it's great that you've actually raised new express services for peak hour, but not everybody works peak hours. People do work at other times. People need to go to hospitals. People have to go a whole range of things. And the response I got was just a self-congratulatory response in that part, and actually didn't address the question at all. Then I said, well, Minister, you've got a new train service starting sometime next year, we are told. Perhaps you might want to start engaging about the timetables. It would be a great time to use this downtime to actually engage with the community to work out what the timetable should look like, so there's support for it. Again, the minister just didn't address that issue at all. The third issue I raised was an issue raised by a person in my electorate who actually gets on the Tamborine station, and the problem he has is in the Gawler, and the problem is that where you park yourself to get on the train when the trains are operating and where the shelter is 100 metres apart. So he actually has to stand in the rain or the sun to actually get picked up by the train. And the question I asked is, will this issue be addressed during the revamp of the train station? Did I get an answer, yes or no? No. He talked about all the other things he wanted to talk about, except address this specific issue raised by this constituent. And then I raised the issue on behalf of the students in my area. Because of the lack of train service for the last year or so, most of the students in my electorate, unfortunately, have been curtailed in their school excursions. They haven't been coming to the city, Parliament House, or other places, so their education has been compromised by their inability to get to Parliament House. Did the minister address that issue, Mr Speaker? Not at all. He just told me what a fantastic government they are, what money they're spending, but didn't address the issue at all. Mr Speaker, I know members in the Liberal Party are used to getting the political middle finger from the Premier, but I don't think people in my constituents should get the